Well, hey, and good day, folks. Welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. I'm so disoriented. Seriously, my internet just went totally dead on me. I had to reload videos, and so I'm behind. But I'm going to get right into this for you. This can be a great show. I've pulled a lot of stuff, and I think I. Oh, sorry. Hold on a sec. Wait, hold on. There we go. All right, I got that stopped. All right, hopefully this decides to work. How am I coming through on audio? Let me just I'm gonna delete that get that window closed completely. So that should okay. So okay, that Rumble, I had it set up to broadcast to Rumble. That's failed. All right. Sorry. Anyways, here's the scoop, folks. We're gonna have a great show. We are. Oh my gosh. I pulled so much stuff together for this. I'm so excited about this because the link between education and Twitter, I'm going to show you something that is just going to just blow your mind. It's going to be fantastic. Okay. I'm serious. I'm gonna pull that out on I'm gonna run through some headlines with you here first. We're gonna get into that the second part of the show, but I am going to show you how everything is falling apart on these people. Look, Democrats always run as moderates and govern as communists with a few exceptions. There are some who actually run as out and out communists, but they have to be the completely unpolitically skilled in districts that are absolutely absurd, like Ilhan Omar, like AOC, like that Rashid Tlaib, people that actually have no political skill whatsoever. They run in those districts and they come out as out and out commies pretty much. Okay. But on a whole, they have to run as moderates. Otherwise, America would reject them, but then they govern as commies. Their true feelings have been covered up, but it is all changing right now. It's all being exposed. I'm so excited about the news I have for you today. Please do me a favor. Please hit the like button and chat it up with where you are from. I see a fellow Minnesotan on. Deb, good to see you on. Northwest Ohio, Shannon, good to see you. Julie from New Hampshire, the live free or die state. We have... Oh, Hippy Dippy doesn't have a wrench, and that's because she's on my backup channel. By the way, I'm running this on 2 channels. I currently see 244 on. Just so you know, I have a channel called Lumberjack Logic, and I don't run all my stuff on there. I just keep that active, actually, and I would encourage you to subscribe to it. I will share it with you here really quick. But it is just... well, it's my backup channel. Okay. So if you're on the Lumberjack Logic channel, you are actually on my backup channel, which is where I'm sure Jace is. That's why she doesn't have a wrench. So there's the link for the backup channel. But Jace, feel free to jump over to the main channel, which is just under Neil Johnson. All right. So just to clear that up so Jace can do her moderating that she needs to do. So I'm going to start with a couple funnies for you people. And I should say funny, but it's almost sad. And I'm going to have you watch this video really quickly. Some of you have probably seen this, some have not. So check it out.
Moment caught on camera during the White House Easter egg roll. President Biden was about to answer an Afghanistan reporter's question about Afghanistan and Pakistan when you can see right here the Easter Bunny rushed in, got in front of the president, waved him away from that reporter. We now know that person in the bunny suit was White House Director of Message Planning, Megan Hayes, who journalists widely view as limiting press access to the president. Media analyst Thomas Dillon was standing right there and took this video, tweeting, Joe Biden quickly interrupted by the Easter Bunny after he starts to comment on Afghanistan and Pakistan at the White House Easter egg roll.
So there you have it. Our own president is being diverted by someone in a bunny suit so he doesn't have to answer questions on Afghanistan and other such things. So people are getting limited access because but did you see the look on his face? And they're using a bunny? I mean, this is, oh gosh, it's sad. It is funny and sad and everything all at the same time, but he cannot answer his own questions. How long will the charade keep going? Well, I'll tell you what, they are ending here with the midterms because of all this exposure. And watch this next one. And here's a little thing, this to just show you how much of a charade this is. I'm going to show you some comedy from years ago when Joe Biden was actually the vice president. So check this out.
The vice president isn't here tonight, not for security reasons. He just thought this event was being held at the Dulles Airport Applebee's. Yes, right now, Joe is elbow deep in jalapeno poppers and talking to a construction cone he thinks is John Boehner. Also true. It's crazy to think that...
Do you guys remember, you saw Obama there, you remember this quote by Obama, right? No one can F things up like Joe. Okay.
Joe Biden is only one heartbeat away from no one taking him seriously as president. Sorry for that one.
That's oh my word. He's one heartbeat away from no one taking him seriously as president. So this is the charade that we're dealing with, what we're putting up with. And the results have been cataclysmic for our country on inflation, the border, Afghanistan, our strength in the world, our ability to influence on a national stage, an international stage, I'm sorry. And people just don't take him seriously. He's been soft on crime, soft on everything. And then while trying to backpedal and say that he's strong on such things. But you are seeing that narrative change too with the policing. Ilhan Omar is actually facing in Minneapolis a pretty strong primary challenge from a person who is pro-police. Now, I will guarantee you they're whacked out on every other issue. And they say they're pro-police. Let me back that up. They did support the George Floyd policing bill. Now, this is just, I'm going to share this with you with no comment. I just thought you should hear what Mr. Fauci has to say on things, okay? I'm not taking any side in this because, I can't do that. But I just want you to hear, because I think it's important that we hear from Dr. Fauci. Don't you all agree? Okay.
Lockdown has its consequences. You use lockdowns to get people vaccinated so that when you open up, you won't have a surge of infections because you're dealing with an immunologically naive population to the virus because they've not really been exposed because of the lockdown.
Oh. Well, that's interesting. There's a lot I could say on that, I mean, didn't he say, I've got that other clip from him from years ago that, like, if you had the flu, don't. Yeah, I've got that clip. I played that on here a few days ago. That's just interesting, that clip with that clip. I mean, apparently there was a reason for doing the one to cause the other. Oh, okay. Well, just important that we have that. Okay, just a little thing. Hey, I want you to watch this though because I have been all up and hippy dippy. I think, which is actually Jace. Jace, good to see you on the chat. Jace is my mod. Maybe you can share my Dr. Oz. For those who have not seen the Dr. Oz video, please watch it because I want you to see this right now.
You should all ask yourselves, why is everyone attacking me?
Because you're a liberal.
That's so good. Let's watch it again.
You should all ask yourselves, why is everyone attacking me?
Because you're a liberal.
Okay, why is everybody attacking you? It's very simple, Mr. Dr. whatever Oz. You're a liberal. Okay, so that's why they're attacking you. And I'm going to share one other funny with you that I'm sorry, I can't help myself on this one. I mean, I hope you guys can appreciate my sense of humor here. I'll probably lose some subscribers right now. It's going to go bad. I'm serious. I shouldn't do this, but I can't help myself. I just saw this and I have to share it with you. Okay, please don't unsubscribe. If a group of cats is called a glaring, I think that's entirely accurate. I know it's way off topic, okay, but it's true. It's true, okay? Please, dogs are better than cats. I understand I probably have cat people in my audience, and you're just gonna... Okay, all right. There it is. You guys thought Brian sent me some political. No, there it is. All right, let's... I've got one other video I want to share with you before we get into the other things. These are just some headline stories I just want to get you before we go into some of the big stories here. So
Mayor Lightfoot, every time you have a press conference, you say crime is down. The economy is booming.
Well, that's not true, but
Beetlejuice, right? They call her Beetlejuice. This lady is unbelievable. I mean, this reporter is awesome. Watch this.
that's your question, sir.
Across the street, we had a police officer on duty, the victim of a hit and run. We have Michigan Avenue, the Magnificent Miles, now referred to as the Mile of Fear. The Water Tower Place has thrown the keys back to the lender. They say they don't want to be in Chicago anymore.
Can you believe that, people? A large commercial building throws the keys back to the lender because they don't want to be in Chicago. They are willing to walk away from their multi-million-dollar investment. That's how bad it is in Chicago. And she stands up there and she's going to run for re-election. But listen to the jokers running against her. This is an amazing series of questions. Just keep listening. I'm sorry. I won't interrupt anymore.
Real Chicagoans are asking me, how could you possibly even consider running for re-election as mayor of the city of Chicago after all the harm you've caused?
Well, I disagree with you fundamentally, and I don't think I need to address any and dignify your comments 1 second further. Next question.
I have a follow-up question regarding the mayor's race. You have a few possible challengers. Cam Buckner just got charged or possibly convicted of his second DUI. You have John Catanzara, who couldn't even hold on to his own police badge. You have, my God, who else? Willie Wilson, who endorsed you when you ran. You have...
Do you have a question, sir?
Yes, Ray Lopez, who says he's going to make history as the first gay Hispanic. Of all of these challengers, who do you see as your greatest challenge?
I am not focused on any of the other people who are saying that they're going to run for mayor. What I'm focused on a day-to-day basis is doing my job, doing the job that people elected me to do.
Rufus Williams.
Do you know, it sounds like the other candidates are so bad, she may not have to focus on them. Do you understand how broken Chicago is? Did you hear the list of these people that are actually running against her? She's absolutely abysmal, appalling, terrible. Okay, but what are you going to do? You're in Chicago, you're going to go with the known evil versus the unknown evil? I mean, seriously, did you hear? Oh my gosh, it's unreal. I mean, Chicago, pull it together. There's got to be somebody good who can run in Chicago. Okay, I did the Dr. Oz video here. I'm just going to share it a couple times here. Please, if you have not watched that, go watch that, share that around. I'm going to ask that you share that video. I don't ask that you are always sharing my videos, but this one, we cannot have Dr. Oz be on the ballot come November in Pennsylvania. We have to have a real conservative there when we know that is actually, an opportunity for a huge pickup. Okay. Anyways, so I wanted to get those to you. Now we're going to start running through some other things. And I will say this much, and I apologize for this, but because my internet and getting booted, I don't have all the videos reloaded already. So the videos are going to come up and they're going to take me a second just to load them. So I apologize for that, but keep with me here. It's good stuff. All right, real quickly. The president needs to stop blaming others and do his job. Okay. So this was back exactly 2 years ago from the date of the second tweet. So you can look at those, read those really quick. I'm going to get a video that goes along with this. I want you to watch. Okay. So we're dealing with a guy who is, this is wild. Here, I'm going to give you this one.
Listed, I had the great pleasure of being listed as the poorest man in Congress for 36 years. I still had making a hell of a lot more money than anybody else because I was getting a senator's salary. No kidding. I didn't think you should make money while you're in office. But anyway, the point of it is this. An awful lot of people are hurting. It makes a big difference.
Okay. Now, I know there's a lot we can say on this, okay, but the fact of the matter is that Joe Biden's on there saying, he's never made a lot of money. Well, he's sure making a lot of money recently because being the big guy, but he's talking about inflation because he realizes, and right now Democrats realize that inflation is absolutely tearing them apart because of the, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Here, I'm going to let this go. I'm going to play this next video, and I want you to catch the video beginning of this one. We'll stop it. We're not going to go through the whole thing. It's so imperative, and how Tucker explains this is so true. And I was just talking with somebody about this the other day, but I just want to let you hear from Tucker. I think he does a great job of explaining this. So watch this.
What happens? Well, at some point, consumers will begin to run out of cash to spend. Assets become too expensive to buy, and the average person will have less money to buy them. At the same time that prices are rising, so are taxes. Property taxes are rising in many places in tandem with the real estate bubble. So even if you didn't buy a new house, you will suffer because of that. State income taxes have risen dramatically in places like New York. So they're getting it from both ends, and that means that some people, maybe a lot of people, will start to go broke. And as they do go broke, they'll be forced to curtail what they buy. In an economy driven largely by consumer spending, this is a very scary trend. When people stop buying things, the crash comes. So you can see very clearly where this is going. Everyone in Washington understands exactly where it's going. But instead of taking real steps to fix it, like stop writing these massive spending bills, they're taking everything they can, all the money's still on the table while there still is money. Janet Yellen, the Secretary of the Treasury, declared last week, for example, that, quote, we must redouble our efforts to decarbonize our economy. So what does that mean exactly? How do you decarbonize an economy? Well, by spending trillions of new stimulus spending on renewable energy schemes that, by the way, are owned by the Chinese government and Democratic donors. See how that works? You pass the cash around while it still exists. Another name for this is looting. It cannot go on forever by definition. Because if the economy tanks, everything resets, not just the economic questions. There could be genuine social and political volatility. Our current conversation can only happen in a country that still believes itself to be rich. But once the country doesn't think it's rich, everything changes.
Everything changes. Now, so did you guys catch that? So you take property taxes. And I was just talking to somebody about this the other day. We ended up building a smaller home than we originally wanted to. And we were going to actually build a home. So I built my home myself. So I built my home, and it's smaller than what we wanted. You know, we've got 7 kids. So we wanted this. Anyways, I wanted to build with logs from my land. I have red pines on my land. And I'm going to build this, okay? But there's challenges getting to the building site and things that I had to work out. But here's the problem. If I were to build a nicer house, all I would be doing is getting taxed more. So why do I want to build a nicer house? That then stalls the economy in multiple ways, because then I wasn't buying the lumber because I still would have done some framing, the lumber, windows, everything to build that house, not hiring certain subcontractors for specific pieces of that job. So that slows down the economy. But I don't want to pay the inflationary taxes on a nicer home. They tax you for doing better. They tax you for improving things. They tax you for all these things. Okay. While billionaire hedge fund managers and investors hide behind these unrealized gains. And it's interesting. But Tucker explained that so well, because they're getting it on both ends right now. Because of the inflationary pressures, then they're increasing your property taxes just by virtue of inflation. So what do they do in the meantime? Hey, let's go give it out to as many people as we need to give it out to. And I'm going to show you just how absolutely awesome all these different initiatives to decarbonize are. Check out this electric bus. Watch this. I mean, people, just stop what you're doing. Look at the screen if you're looking away and watch this. An electric bus caught on fire. Is that the craziest thing you've ever seen in your life? Okay. Seriously, just nuts. Okay. So what they do is they propagate all these things on us when, obviously what we should be doing is increasing nuclear energy. We should be doing more clean coal. We should be drilling. We should have a pipeline. We should be doing all these things. And I've got a great piece here by Kanekoa the Great. I'll do a separate video on that you guys can share. But what's happening is they are pulling the levers to get things to function in a certain way. And in the meantime, we're finding out now that some of Hunter's largest investments are in the number one carbon producing company in the world out of China, which is a fossil fuels thing. So it's just... But we're continuing to see more and more exposure on key issues. Okay, so let me remove a couple videos here, and we're going to go back to this. Okay, so you guys saw it. President needs to stop blaming others and do his job. I know that families are still struggling with higher prices. I grew up in a family where if the price of gas went up, we felt it. Let's be absolutely clear about why prices are high right now. COVID and Vladimir Putin. So obviously... you guys see it. He's blaming others, but it's not only that. Those aren't even the real issues. The real issue is response to COVID and response to Vladimir Putin. I think it's very important for you to know, and let me just skip ahead here. I got to find it right here. JP Morgan. Russians are selling more oil now than before the war. They are aligning with other countries to still get their oil out. Those countries are getting it at a discount. So while we're seeing price increases and inflation due to his policies, other countries are seeing a suppression of the price and are actually able to profit from it. So not only is then Russia profiting by selling to these countries, but these other countries are profiting, and they're doing it all while skipping the US dollar. It's an unbelievable thing that's taking place in the world. Not a lot of people even know what's going on. Okay. So back to this. By the way, you guys all know the CDC ended the mask mandate on planes. I did a special about that. But I think the bigger story of this is that the DOJ says it might appeal ruling against airline mask mandate. This out of Forbes, if CDC thinks mask wearing is still needed. Okay. The federal government will appeal a judge's Monday decision to throw out the nationwide mask mandate for our airplanes and public transportation, but only if the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention deems the mandate necessary, the Department of Justice announced Tuesday. Now, I'm going to show you something else here, another video, to see how Biden is addressing this, and then somebody else's thoughts on it, which I actually agree with. Let me just see here. Biden, we need... that one, and where'd that one go? It's gone. The video is gone, my friends. Sorry here, but I can share this one with you. This has that first clip in it, so just watch this.
The CDC yet.
Okay, he really will. Sean Duff.
Okay, so he hasn't spoken to the CDC yet. Just like the other day, Jen Psaki said she would wait for the DHS to finish their investigation that they'd already finished when she was talking about that. So this is on Stuart Varney, obviously. So watch this. I really agree with these thoughts. I don't think they're bringing it back because it is a political hot button.
With us this morning. This is classic buck passing, isn't it? He wants the CDC to take the blame if we go back to masks.
He does. First of all, Stuart, I've been up for 5 hours so far, and until I watched your show, I didn't realize the significance of today being 420. So thank you for that reminder. I appreciate that.
You knew perfectly well, young man. You know perfectly well.
Not until I was watching your show did I recognize that. So, and I'm not walking the streets of New York either. So, but with that aside, listen, Joe Biden's heart is right. Let people decide for themselves. Do they have?
I love this. Do you guys see how he's doing this? Joe Biden's heart is right. He's putting it back onto Joe and actually pretending like Joe is legit. Okay, this is hilarious. I mean, it was well played, his comment.
Comorbidities? Do they have risks? Do they have someone in their family who has a risk and they want to wear a mask? He was right on that. But later when asked, he followed up and he says, well, the CDC is going to make a decision. You're right. He's passing the buck. I guarantee you this. The CDC has not been making rules, recommendations based on science. It's been all politics. And so what you're going to find is the CDC is going to recognize that Democrats don't want masks on planes because Americans don't want masks on planes. You look at the celebrations that were happening across airports and on airplanes. People don't want this. So the CDC is going to stand down. There's not going to be a DOJ lawsuit because America will be even more outraged at Democrats than they already are. So this thing is going to go away. Take your mask off, Stuart, and fly free, brother.
I think you're right, brother. I got it. Now, one more for you.
Okay, so now what's interesting about that, though, and I think the key point of all this, and we had to really look at, is why would the DOJ look at filing and appealing a decision? So what we're doing now, think about this, we are using our own taxpayer dollars to fund an unpopular mandate, okay, that's simply a mandate, not a law, okay, and they are using the Department of Justice, our tax dollars, to work against us. So the DOJ needs to be scrubbed along with the FBI and all these three-letter agencies, because they are basically using our tax dollars against us. Now, let's move on from there to, I gotta find it. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, hey, by the way, I'll take a quick break here for my sponsor. There, I'll do that real quick before I forget them. My newest sponsor, RevereCoffeeCompany.com. Promo code Lumberjack saves you 10% on the coffee. The coffee is so so good. It's silky smooth. I really like this Patriot. Okay. If you like a nice darker roast Colombian, you will love it. Okay. Let's see here. With the disqualifying, a judge rules they can move forever with the disqualifying of MTG. I missed that one. I saw Catfish Chucky just shared something there in the chat. I don't want to get so here, I'll share this one. Revere Coffee Company. There you go. And now let's get on to this next piece I want to get to for you. Oh, shoot. I just hold on. I just deleted a window. I hit the wrong button. Sorry. This is the thing. I need a producer. Okay. Let's see. Edit, undo. There we go. All right. Undo, close tab. That's an important story. Actually, let's jump to that story. No, let's hold on that for just a second. We've got to go to this. All right. So now let's move on to here. Oh, it's not back in. There it is. Okay. Sorry. There we go. So most people in the world are operating under the false impression that we've got too many people. This is not true. Earth could maintain a population many times the current level. The birth rate has been dropping like crazy at Elon Musk. And then Elon Musk loved it, said, absolutely. People, don't buy into this whole population narrative. There's too many people, all this kind of stuff. Therefore, we need to implement population control. That was the whole Bill Gates model in Africa, and trying to promote his birth control and abortion agenda over there. We can have more people, and don't worry, God's on his throne. Man needs to quit trying to be control freaks. Okay. You guys want a big win? Here's a big win in the culture war. Just in, Netflix shares plunge over 25% in after hours trading, projecting to lose 2 million subscribers in the current quarter. Okay. Oh, this one, I don't, that's in the wrong spot. Hold on. Let me go to this next one. Okay. So Elon Musk then tweeted in regards to this, the woke mind virus is making Netflix unwatchable. Completely is. And here's a graph on Netflix just to show you just how bad it was for them. By the way, they did the documentary Cuties. They're basically into kitty porn, and Netflix just get rid of them, people. Get rid of them. They are not worth your time. They are not worth your attention. Oh, I forgot to grab the book. Oh, shoot. I had a book I wanted to share with you. Maybe I'll do that on the next one. Darn it. Just so you know, too, just another quick little headline. Biden administration is prepping another $800 million in weapons package for Ukraine, NBC reports, because that's where we want our money going right now. Here, one of the best memes I've ever seen. Okay. I would trust Pee Wee Herman sitting behind me at movies while on a date with OJ, drinking at Bill Cosby's bar, using Flint, Michigan ice cubes after making a film with Alec Baldwin, all while Casey Anthony babysat for me using Bruce Jenner's breast milk before I would ever trust any Democrat running for president. That's such a fabulous meme. I just had to share it with you. I found it. Just something really important to know. Here you go. This is where we get into it, people. This is where the massive exposure is happening. Okay, so I'm going to let you see this first. This out of Westminster College, Film 3000, 2 credits. Hardcore. It says, American is apple pie and more popular than Sunday Night Football. Our approach to this billion-dollar industry is both a cultural phenomenon that reflects and reinforces these inequalities, but holds the potential to challenge gender norms and is an art form that requires serious contemplation. No, it doesn't. It requires no contemplation. We will watch these films together and discuss. I mean, really? This is at Westminster College? And get this, this is where it's all coming apart. You guys want to see, this is where Twitter and the education system and the exposure is happening right now. And I'm going to show you in multiple ways just how bad this is getting for them. Let me jump to this part. Okay, so the Washington Post. Taylor Lorenz is an accomplished and diligent journalist whose reporting methods comport entirely with the Washington Post. Okay. Professional standards. Okay, so that's really interesting. Okay, and you guys can read the rest as I find this video. I've got to let's see, where is it? Just finish reading that, people. Sorry that this thing got all jacked around. Okay, but it was what it was here with oh, where did that video go? Hold on, I've got a really good one here. I didn't want to keep you guys waiting to start the show, but that other piece had just disappeared. Oh, here, I can find it on my desktop. Sorry, here we go. It's under Washington Post. Here we go. Watch this lady. Some of you may have seen this, but check this out. Now, this is Taylor Lorenz. Okay, now, so if you don't understand what's going on here, Libs of TikTok, one of the absolute most popular Twitter pages of all time, and all it does is post liberals doing what they do, which I'll show you some of it in just a second. But Taylor Lorenz has now doxed that lady. And this is, she is claiming, of course, that she was, just watch, all right.
Any little piece of information that gets out on you will be used by the worst people on the internet to destroy your life. And it's so isolating. And terrifying. It's horrifying.
It's so horrifying. Okay, so this is the lady. She's talking about doxing and how terrible that could be. And at the same time, then she's doxing people. So this is not, and I think I've got a good tweet that really summed this up. Okay. They did publish a link to details about her personal life. They deleted that afterwards, but they had published it. So they are lying. Of course, the media is lying. That's what they always do. But watch this, because you guys are going to see this is where the house of cards is crumbling on them. Just stick with me through this. The reason the Washington Post has to falsely deny they disclosed personal info is because it gives away the game. There was no possible public interest in that info. The article was meant to intimidate, not inform. Okay. Now, Taylor Lorenz then went on to tweet, I had heard that the Babylon Bee had recently provided financial backing for @Libs of TikTok, but didn't have enough confirmation on the details to nail it down for my story. Seth Dillon, CEO of the Babylon Bee, has now confirmed it. So Seth Dillon goes on. Now, here's what you need to understand. The Libs of TikTok gained over 200,000 subscribers in 24 hours. This is all working against them. So Seth Dillon says, I think they'll also be surprised by the support she receives. I want them to know that she won't be, he's talking about the Libs of TikTok creator, won't be canceled from her job just because this is her job now. I've worked out a deal with her that will turn her heroic high-risk work into a career. The Babylon Bee didn't do a deal with her. The Bee is a satire publication, you know, like the Washington Post. This is beautiful. I did a deal with her personally. Also, I want to thank you for amplifying the voices you try to suppress. Your promotion of Libs of TikTok today has been priceless, and it has to the tune of 200,000+ subscribers, people. So this now here, let me now I'm going to plop this out of here. I'm going to take you to something else. Okay, and while I am digging that up, I'm going to let you watch some of the Libs of TikTok. And Tucker Carlson did a piece on this. He actually interviewed the lady. I encourage you to go check that out. Oh, here we go. And we go to... But see, what's happening here is Elon Musk is tearing this all down in such a beautiful way. And... let's see. How do I want to? There's so many pieces I want you to see right now. Let's start with this one.
doesn't win his bid for Twitter. But as critics are pointing out, the Washington Post is owned by billionaire Jeff Bezos. In fact, 5 media outlets who have been critical of Musk are also run by billionaires. Sean, I'm going to come to you first. Do you think we could be done?
Okay.
Done. No. Do you think that billionaires should be able to own media outlets?
Of course they should, right? I mean, what the problem is, you have billionaires that are liberals that think that their ideas, when in the public square, can't stand up to debate, and they can't be challenged, and therefore they have to censor speech that is in opposition to the liberal perspective. I mean, I think that's where they're at. And I mean, this is my whole take on why Twitter is so, the board actually is so upset about Elon Musk coming in. I think when Elon comes in, he's going to be able to see all of the algorithms, all of the garbage that they were doing to censor conservatives, what they did in the 2020 election that might have violated election laws. And if he sees that, exposes it, all of a sudden
Okay, so that's the issue. Okay, now just to see, so what Libs of TikTok was doing their best here. Let me just remove this for a second. I'll take these other videos out of here, and then I'm going to show you. That wasn't the Tucker piece there, obviously, but I'm going to just play these. They can come really in any order here. I have long said that what needs to happen for all these big tech companies, because they are not acting in the best interest of their shareholders and their fiduciary responsibility, that they need to file class action lawsuits by shareholders who are not receiving the returns they could if they simply operated not in the interest of our powers that be, but in the interest of the shareholders. So watch this. This is DeSantis. This is amazing. Check it out. This is what I've been saying needs to happen. Maybe DeSantis was listening to me. That would make sense. He's probably tuning into Lumberjack Logic, paying attention to what I have to say so he can make the right decisions. So here you go.
State of Florida and our pension system, we have shares of Twitter. I didn't buy it. We have people that run the fund, but nevertheless, it hasn't exactly been great in returns on investment. It's been pretty stagnant for many, many years. But nevertheless, I mean, to me, I think that that's probably an injury to the fund. So we're going to be looking at ways that the state of Florida potentially can be holding these Twitter board of directors accountable for breaching their fiduciary duties. So stay tuned on that.
Okay, so that's huge, people. That's absolutely huge. But now I'm going to give you some clips of Musk put together from his TED Talk, and I want you to pay attention to what he says. So we just saw a piece talking about the algorithm and affecting elections, and then Musk would be able to see that. Now check this out, because Musk mentions this, and it's phenomenal. And if this is why they're freaking out right now. This is why they're freaking out so bad. And they have long hid their intentions. They have long hid all this stuff, but watch this.
Become kind of the de facto town square. It's just really important that people have both the reality and the perception that they are able to speak freely within the bounds of the law. I think it's very important for there to be an inclusive arena for free speech. If in doubt, let the speech let it exist. A good sign as to whether there is free speech is someone you don't like allowed to say something you don't like. And if that is the case, then we have free speech. The truth matters to me a lot. Really, sort of pathologically, it matters to me. One of the things that I believe Twitter should do is open source the algorithm, having tweets sort of mysteriously be promoted and demoted with no insight into what's going on. Having a black box algorithm promote some things and not other things. I think this can be quite dangerous. A top priority I would have is eliminating the spam and scam bots and the bot armies that are on Twitter. We want to be just very reluctant to delete things and have just be very cautious with permanent bans. Timeouts I think are better than sort of permanent bans. In a case where there's perhaps a lot of controversy that you would not want to necessarily promote that tweet. I do think this will be somewhat painful, and I'm not sure that I will actually be able to acquire it. I mean, I could technically afford it.
Is there a plan B?
There is. I love humanity, and I think that we should fight for a good future for humanity, and I think we should be optimistic about the future and fight to make that optimistic future happen.
Okay, now.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson.
Okay, so hold on. We got good evening. Welcome to Tucker Carlson, because this is where we get into some of these clips I want to share with you. This is going to tie it all together, okay? Those of you who stuck with me, thank you, because I know with that computer snafu, it got a little scatterbrained here. But we just saw there, okay, so you've seen the clips. Let's put this together now. We saw the one guy talking about the algorithm and exposing the election, okay, issues in 2020 and how they were promoting certain content, how they were hiding, of course, New York Post, all this different stuff, okay? Now, in addition to that, then we see Musk talking specifically about the black box algorithm and exposing that algorithm. Now, here's what's interesting. They basically did some things against libs of TikTok on Twitter, which then raised the awareness of it. See, this is what I'm telling you. Everything they're doing is working against them. Then in addition to that, we've got this idiot Washington Post reporter running around being completely contradictory of herself, but also drawing more light and attention to it. And then libs of TikTok now gaining 250,000 subscribers here, okay, in short order. And now check this out, because this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where I'm going to talk about the massive exposure, and we're going to get into a couple really key stories here. So watch this piece by Tucker.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson tonight. Last year, unbeknownst to pretty much nobody, a woman in Brooklyn started a Twitter account that was comprised almost solely of videos of liberals talking about themselves. So the concept was very simple. Find interesting tape that had already been uploaded to the internet by the people who made it, and then repost that tape. There was no editing of it, no special effects. There was very little editorial content. The idea was to let activist types describe in their own words what they believe, unfiltered. The woman who created it called that account Libs of TikTok. Libs of TikTok now has more followers than the entire population of the state of Wyoming. Libs of TikTok's audience dwarfs the nightly viewership on CNN. So it was quite successful, by definition. The question is why, and here's why. It turns out that as repellent as academic lifestyle liberalism may seem to you as an observer, the reality of it, as described by the people who actually believe this stuff, is even worse than you ever imagined. It's really beyond belief, both idiotic and disgusting. It's like watching someone eat roadkill. You feel nauseous, but you can't turn away. So Libs of TikTok found all kinds of tape on the internet, but they found a bunch of selfie-style videos from the publicly available social media accounts of teachers. They didn't snoop. They just pulled people to
education people. Pay attention.
Here's some of what they found.
It's amazing.
Hi, my name's Az, and I'm a preschool teacher. Recently, we started wearing pronoun pins, and the kids get to pick a new pronoun pin every day. We have some that pick like she, her every single day, and we have some that change it up.
So I'm a non-binary preschool teacher, and my kids know I'm non-binary. They know I'm not a girl or a boy. I use they, them pronouns in the classroom. We work on it. Not all the kids get it. That's okay. And I go by Mix Gray in the classroom, not Miss or Mr.
Man, y'all thought me teaching the children about me being poly was crazy. But not only that, but they also know that I'm gender fluid.
I'm going to give you my explanation about what it means to be transgender as well. So when babies are born, the doctor looks at them and they make a guess about whether the baby is a boy or a girl.
Kids as young as 3 and 4 are actually aware of their gender identity, even if they don't have the language for it. To say that pre-K through 3rd grade are not ready for such topics is actually internalized homophobia and transphobia.
So those are the people in charge of tending to your small children's minds while you're at work. Now, maybe you agree with the views you just heard. Maybe you think that doctors just guess at the sex of newborns. Maybe you don't agree. It almost doesn't matter. Either way, you have a right as a parent to know what these people are teaching to your children. And yet, before Libs of TikTok, there was not an easy way to find out what they were teaching and take the teacher's word for it.
It's not only that, people. In Minnesota, in the Minneapolis school districts, when it moved to online at-home schooling, but through the school system, the parents were supposed to sign a form saying they wouldn't even look at what their kids were learning. I don't know if you guys remember this story, but this was back, during that was actually before the 2020 election that was going on. So this is where it's at. So this is where the rubber meets the road. Now, look at this. I'm going to show you something. And one of my listeners shared this with me, and I just, thank them so much for this. But check this out. This will blow your mind. And this is why they're freaking out. Okay. And then we're going to get more into the whole piece with Twitter here and some of the backroom stuff on it and how much the board of directors owns and how they're not acting. And this is why Ron DeSantis has a really good chance to win this lawsuit, which I have been talking about for a long time. But it's not only Twitter, but a number of others. But check this out. Okay, so here we go. This is a code red for enrollment. Here, I'll take this banner out of here too so you guys can see the entire article more easily. I just said to, where did it go here? Bam, bam. There we go. All right, so with shrinking student bodies, colleges in Minnesota and the U.S. are at a crossroads. Now, for long, this is how they have affected and changed the culture for years. So this is why the FBI and so on, chasing after. This is why there was collusion between the National School Boards Association, Biden administration, FBI to go after parents. Listen to this. The public university in the central Minnesota city was once the second largest in the state with 16,000 undergraduate students crowding its lecture halls, filling its dormitories, and cheering on the nationally ranked Huskies hockey team. Today, the St. Cloud University's campus on the banks of the Mississippi River as a harbinger of the powerful forces battering the nation's colleges and universities. Enrollment has plunged by almost half. Tenured faculty have been laid off. The football team has been cut, and a towering residence hall has been shuttered. Colleges across the country have been losing students since 2010 as tuition increased, demographics shifted, and Americans grew more skeptical about the value of a college degree. It's not only the value of a college degree, it's parents saying, and I talked to a parent one time, he owned a successful business and everything. His daughter was going to Boston College, very academically acclaimed school, and she was, smart in terms of like ability to process to a certain extent. I've always found IQ to be fascinating. Anyhow, he's sending his daughter to this college, paying thousands of dollars. Okay. I know another guy, same story. And then they would come back and insult their parents when they came back home and tell them all the things they were doing wrong. And they laughed about it. But the fact is, there's nothing funny about that. But some parents caught on and they said, look, I am not going to send you. If you want to go pay for that college, you go pay for it yourself, because I am not going to send you to an institution that's going to completely subvert the values that I've taught you all throughout the course of my life. And now those values are being shredded, and I'm the one who's paying for it. Well, at the same time, I watch my country fall apart because of those very values being shredded. Okay, so that's what's going on, but it's happening in the grade school. And we're seeing that even at preschool level, as we saw in some of those Libs of TikTok video. Okay, so that's what's taking place. Now, colleges across the country have been losing students since 2010. Okay, I covered that. In Minnesota, the total undergraduate enrollment has plunged by almost a third. Did you guys catch that? Total undergraduate enrollment has plunged by almost a third to levels last seen in the late 1990s, according to the State Office of Higher Education, outpacing the more gradual drop in U.S. undergraduates. Well, look, you can go get a job as a welder right now and make more and just go to a basic trade school and not come out with all this debt, and also not be taught wokeism, because to get a welding certificate, to get some, to go to work in the trades, you don't have to become a wokester. You don't have to be indoctrinated. So people are seeing that as a good, viable alternative. Okay. This is a code red moment for not only St. Cloud State, but other regional institutions, said Robin Wacker, St. Cloud State's president. To survive in the current landscape of higher education, you have to create a new model. Yeah, why don't you quit trying the wokester model? Why don't you decrease the prices that you're paying for worthless degrees? Why don't you not require people to take gender studies and women's programs and that type of thing? Okay, it doesn't work. Okay, because there's no value in it. They don't come out and they're not able to make money. Okay, the sprawling Minnesota state system, which consists of 30 community colleges and 7 universities, including St. Cloud State, has borne the brunt of the state's enrollment decline. Its undergraduate population fell from nearly 200,000 to just under 150,000, folks. That's in 11 years. Flagship campuses like University of Minnesota, Twin Cities, and selected private colleges are but down about 3%. But the bottom line is they see right now that they are losing it. The 2019 poll finding only 51% of Americans thought a college education was very important. That is down from 70% in 2013, people. Okay. They can't influence if you're not in the classroom. So now this takes us back to, okay, so now why would the libs of TikTok be such a big thing? Why would Twitter need to ban them? Why would they be so up in arms? Why would the Washington Post be going on a campaign to harass and intimidate the creator of libs of TikTok when all she's doing is posting videos of them saying what they say? They should be proud of what they say, right? They're making videos about it, but they want it to go to this select audience that doesn't go out to everybody else. Okay, so that's what we see taking place here. So now that that's being exposed to the world, now parents are more up in arms, and we're seeing changes in school boards rolling over. And man, I'm telling you, people, the system is being taken over from the ground up at the local level, and people are becoming aware and awake. But watch this. Musk in talks with investors. So now we're talking about his plan B. So he said he tweeted out, "Love me tender." A tender offer is when it's communicated directly to the shareholders. Okay, because there's something here that let me just jump ahead. I want to show you this part first. Elon Musk is in for a bad time. I'm not sure if he's prepared to take on a couple PhDs, a few MBAs, and a baroness who uses Twitter once a year to reset their password and collectively owns 77 shares of the company. People, this is the board of Twitter. Jack Dorsey is leaving. He owns 2.253%. But look at this. These people are still there. They own a combined 77 shares. 77 shares. They're not vested in this company, and they're getting salaries of $250,000 to $300,000 a year. This goes back to Elon Musk tweeting out that when he takes over Twitter, the board will get paid $0. This out of Summit News. Elon Musk's effort to take over and restore Twitter to its free speech origins rumble on, with the billionaire tweeting that once he is in charge, the rest of the board will have their salaries reduced to $0. Okay? Woo, people. I mean, this is huge. So he's outing them. And then here we go back to the love me tender. Okay. Musk seem to confirm this in a tweet. So Musk is shifting his strategy and going after Twitter with a complex deal that raises debt against both the company and possibly his own stock, as well as a giant cash equity infusion from co-investors. Citing sources close to Musk, the Post suggests that he is planning to put in 10 to 15 billion of his own money to take the company private, along with 20 billion from outside investors who will own more stock than Musk, while ensuring he would remain the largest shareholder. The report also claims that Musk has hired Morgan Stanley to raise $10 billion in debt against Twitter in the manner of a traditional leveraged buyout. The report further suggests that the co-investors will finance the hostile tender offer directly to Twitter shareholders, and that Musk is planning to launch the tender offer for Twitter in 10 days or so. I mean, it's just so beautiful. Okay, so I mean, the power of dethroning one of their. Now here, this gets better. I've got this goes so deep, people. This is so deep. I know you're probably thinking, oh, Neil's nuts about this Twitter thing. I am, because it's phenomenal. So here's libs of TikTok, now up to 850,300 subscriber. Okay. Libs of TikTok reveals the depths of Taylor Lorenz's depravity with repulsive footage of Lorenz harassing relatives. Okay, so in case you're just joining us, not much has changed. Taylor Lorenz is still an absolute garbage human, even if you call her human. The only thing that's changed really is that the deeper we dive into Lorenz's disgusting doxing of the woman behind Libs of TikTok, poorly disguised as journalism, of course, the worse she looks. Okay, so this was the piece she ran. Okay. Now, the Washington Post linked directly to Libs of TikTok's real estate license, the purpose clearly to destroy this woman's ability to feed her family. Look at this. Hi, at Taylor Lorenz. Which of my relatives did you enjoy harassing the most at their homes today? So she is literally going door to door. This is the same woman, people, who I shared that video with earlier, who fake cried, okay, about being doxxed. It's harassment, the hypocrisy, okay? It's obscene, it's absurd, it's redonkulous, okay? Now, here, let's see, this out of the blaze, but I want to take you to another video first. Watch this one. This was a video from what's his name? Joe Rogan. Okay. But he's also got Tim Pool on there, Jack Dorsey, and a lady from Twitter. So now I want you to watch this. They're going to deny that they're doing what they're doing. So now the attempted cover up, but too much is out in the open now. Okay. Smash that like if you would for me, please. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, feel free to do so. I'd love bringing the news to you folks. Here we go.
So one of the risks then is, we're coming towards a position where people think some ideas are better than others. Therefore, as a company, we're going to restrict access to certain information.
You mean like anti-vax?
Exactly.
People?
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm trying to say is, at what point would you guys restrict someone from sharing false information about vaccines that could get someone hurt?
That is not a violation of Twitter's rules. No.
I think, I'd be interested to hear your ideas around this, but our perspective right now is around this concept of variety perspective. Like, are we encouraging more echo chambers and filter bubbles, or are we at least showing people other information that might be counter to what they see? And there's a bunch of research that would suggest that further emboldens their views. There's also research that would suggest that it at least gives them a consideration about what they currently believe. So,
well, you guys, go ahead.
Sorry, given the dynamics of our network being completely public, we're not organized around communities, we're not organized around topics. We have a little bit more freedom to show more of the spectrum of any one particular issue, and I think that's how we would approach it from the start. That said, we haven't really dealt much with misinformation more broadly across like these sorts of topics. We've focused our efforts on elections and mainly elections right now.
YouTube is a different animal.
It
YouTube,
is.
someone can really convince you that the earth is flat if you're gullible and you watch a 45-minute YouTube video.
Right.
It's kind of a different thing.
But I wanted to just kind of get into that statement you made about misinformation and whether or not you'll police it.
I think that the tough part of this is really, and love to have a discussion about this, is do you really want corporations to police what's true and not true?
Absolutely not.
That's a really, really tough position.
But you guys do that.
But
we try not to do that. We don't want to do that.
Okay, wait, we try not to do that? Then just don't do it. But right now, this is the most interesting thing to watch play out because of the panic, the absolute panic, both of liberals and the deep state. I mean, the DOJ then announcing that they're going to do investigations along with Securities and Exchange Commission into Elon Musk's other companies and investments. They're going on a total hit job here, a hit parade. This is nuts. Okay, so here now I got to bring back to the Blaze. I've got an article out of the Blaze. Whitlock, Elon Musk, and Jack Dorsey are a poison pill for Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google's Alphabet Mafia. What a great quoting for that Alphabet sorry, I'm running out of Based on the reaction to his bid to buy Twitter, Elon Musk is 100 times more dangerous to the established vision of a new world order than Donald Trump. Pick that up. Elon Musk is 100 times more dangerous to the establishment's vision of a new world order than Donald Trump. The response to Musk has been measured and strategic as opposed to emotional and impulsive. The establishment unleashed its gaggle of celebrity pit bulls on the former president, a pack of rabid actors, athletes, broadcasters, comedians, and print journalists gnawed at Trump's ankles for 4 years, eventually crippling him and turning the 2020 elections into a contest of what well-intentioned Americans would do to stop Adolf Hitler 2.0. That's not enough time to reimagine Musk. There's not enough time to reimagine Musk as this, especially since corporate media prematurely gave that title to Russia's Vladimir Putin. The attack on Musk will be led by Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, and a team of lawyers, all hired by Twitter's board of directors to thwart this proposed $43 billion takeover of the social media app. Stopping Musk's existential threat to globalism will be a game of chess, not checkers. In the technology-driven world we now live in, a matrix designed by Silicon Valley, controlling Twitter is more important than controlling the White House. That's why Twitter's board would rather kill itself than turn the app over to an individual who believes in freedom, free speech, and the U.S. Constitution. This is where the legal case is, people. Let me highlight that. That's why Twitter's board would rather kill itself than turn the app over to an individual who believes in freedom, free speech, and the U.S. Constitution. The poison pill enacted to stop Musk could easily double as a suicide pill for the board that authorized it. By denying shareholders the right to vote on Musk's proposal, Twitter's board has abdicated its fiduciary responsibilities to shareholders rather than act in the best interest of shareholders. The board served the interest of political and activist stakeholders. Are you guys getting this? This is why the whole video with Ron DeSantis, and I'm going to share it again just for those who are on here late. This is why this is so important. And this is what I've been saying, not only about Twitter, but YouTube, Facebook, all of it. This is why you're seeing their stocks drop, with the exception potentially of YouTube has not, just because it's so vast. Anyways, but here, check this out.
Of Florida and our pension system, we have shares of Twitter. I didn't buy it. We have people that run the fund, but nevertheless, it hasn't exactly been great in returns on investment. It's been pretty stagnant for many, many years. But nevertheless, I mean, to me, I think that that's probably an injury to the fund. So we're going to be looking at ways that the state of Florida potentially can be holding these Twitter board of directors accountable for breaching their fiduciary duties.
There we go. So I bring you back to this. This gets into Twitter's board has abdicated its fiduciary responsibility to shareholders. This is what I've been saying for so long. I mean, I'm just so glad that DeSantis finally listened to my show, and now he's on board with this because that's fantastic. So anyways, please do smash that like. It does help increase the distribution. Musk forced Twitter completely out of the closet. The app is hostile to free speech and a partisan tool reserved exclusively for Democrats. Worse, the reaction to Musk's takeover puts an impossible to ignore spotlight on Silicon Valley's control of public discourse and American culture. This goes furthermore. Many of you know I mentioned this yesterday, but my friend Marcus D, who has 300 followers, dared tweet that Rachel Levine was a man, and as a result had his account suspended. He has to remove the comment himself. See, they're trying to get us to be like, okay, you have to do it. You have to submit. You must submit to us, okay? Musk forced them out of the closet, people. The Twitter Musk controversy brings into focus the power, importance, and influence of the five families governing the BLM Alphabet Mafia. The Alphabet Mafia reports to FANG, the acronym CNBC host Jim Cramer gave to Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google. Musk bid to buy Twitter as an attempt to defang America. Twitter is the hitman for the Alphabet Mafia. Twitter assassinates reputations with false narratives and unfair allegations of racism, sexism, homophobia, blah, blah, blah. It censors silence and diminishes opponents of the Democrat Party. And we just saw straight face the lady from Twitter saying that they are not trying to censor free speech, but anybody who's been on there, anybody who's followed anything knows that they have. Just think of this one. Okay, so, we don't want to censor speech, but Nancy Pelosi stock tracker, gone. All of a sudden, they're trying to get rid of libs of TikTok, which all that's doing is reposting the things that they're not proud of because they thought they could keep it in the dark, but now they can't. This is out of the closet. Seriously, this is huge. The richest man in the world owning Twitter is far more dangerous than even Donald Trump seated in the Oval Office. Trump could only complain about fake news and its origins. Musk could expose one of the co-conspirators in the alleged shadow government headquartered in Silicon Valley in the Pacific Northwest. Again, I go back to the videos I shared about the algorithm and talking about how that affected the outcome of the election, talking about, and even Dorsey just admitted that on that interview we saw, people. This is why this is so big. And I don't think, and conservatives want to call it a distraction. It is not a distraction. In fact, it's so bad that foreign governments are interested in this. German government funds research project that docks libs of TikTok. Okay, this out of the Post-Millennial. The hit piece on the woman behind libs of TikTok by the Bezos-funded Washington Post professional victim Taylor Lorenz was based on a cyber-stalking thread by an ex-Twitter employee who is working, God, I hate all these ads, who is working, on a German-backed project. Software developed by Travis Brown, a former Twitter open source advocate, per LinkedIn, unearthed libs of TikTok's history on Twitter and posted a thread Saturday detailing information about the account's profile change. Lorenz cited Brown's series of tweets in her WAPO article, doxing the woman who created the libs of TikTok's sleuthing persona. Okay, Brown is working on an ongoing project with support of the Prototype Fund, an organization that provides financial support to Brown's so-called hate speech tracker. So here's what you need to understand. Foreign governments, the entire New World Order is concerned about Twitter. People don't think it's a distraction for a second because they're all concerned about it, even to the point that they're willing to do this. And now this is going to bring me up to another thing. So I have to remove this. Hold on one second and then reshare, because you guys need to see another person in Germany that's very concerned about this. This is just wild, just watching this all play out, people. Are you getting this? Just chime in the chat. I mean, am I explaining this well? Because this is out of control. All right, here, I got to go back right to, where did I put that piece? Right here. So here's another guy out of Germany, Professor Karl Lauterbach. For Twitter Day. Okay, I won't do my German. For at Twitter DE, it would be a massive loss of credibility if at Elon Musk bought Twitter. The commercialization of the internet also endangers democracy because trust in the independence of news is dwindling. Yeah, it is dwindling. And the trust in Twitter is dwindling because they're constantly censoring people, even though they're telling us that they're not and that they don't want to be a part of it. But we go back to now. Let me just, man, this story is so massive. I hope you guys are catching this. Am I explaining here? I go to the comments. Are you guys getting this? Everybody's getting this? Okay. Thank you. It all got discombobulated at the start because of that. But again, I'm going to take you to the end of this video. I want you to watch
discussion about this. Is, do you really want corporations to police what's true and not true?
Absolutely not.
That's a really, really tough position.
But you guys do that.
We try not to do that. We don't want to do that.
They don't want to do that, but they are. So again, here's the slave from Twitter. By the way, I got that video from, you can see on there, at Chief Nerd. He's on Telegram, Chief Nerd. Follow him on Telegram. He's also on Getter. Okay. Chief Nerd. I'm telling you, he's one of the best follows you're going to have. Please make sure you do it. By the way, Telegram is absolutely one of the best sources to get news. Please, I've got all my links below. People, I don't know how much longer it's going to last. Seriously. I mean, they're going to cancel every single speech. See, what they've done is they've continued to raise the bar, and then they bring it back down so that now, so like, here it is. They're raising the bar from here, right? Ba, 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 ba. They raise it. Then they bring it back down to here. It sets the new bar. Then they raise it. Okay, so the level of censorship keeps increasing. So we have to get to uncensored platforms. Okay, so anyhow, I just back to this. I've got to go back to this one. Okay, but Jack Dorsey. This is back to the Blaze article. One of Twitter's founders. So right now, for those who don't know, the current CEO is Parag Agrawal, Twitter's zealot CEO. Okay. Do you guys remember the Time Magazine piece about the secret bipartisan campaign that saved the 2020 election? Okay. Utilizing Twitter. Then you can go back to, what's his name? The guy from, the really smart, he's got the Massachusetts lawsuit. Somebody will remember it for me. Okay. Jack Dorsey, one of Twitter's founders and a member of the board, sounds like a man looking for witness protection. This out of the Blaze. That is exactly what I'm seeing here. Okay, he's constantly coming out now, and what's going on here? I keep thinking, what the heck is going on? Dorsey spent the weekend working on his Salvatore Bonpensiero impersonation for that. This is from The Godfather, for those who aren't getting it. Sal was the infamous character on the TV show The Sopranos. Yeah, The Sopranos. Everyone called him Big Pushy. He was one of Tony Soprano's best friends from childhood. He was also a rat and a snitch. Dorsey might be Twitter's version of that. In a response to a Twitter user complaining about Twitter's board, Dorsey tweeted, "It's consistently been the dysfunction of the company." When another user tweeted that good boards don't create good companies, but a bad board will kill a company every time, Dorsey responded with big facts. When a user asked if Dorsey is allowed to talk in such a transparent manner, Dorsey stated flatly, no. Dorsey is off the Twitter reservation. He resigned as CEO in November. His term on the board ends sometime this year. He's friends with Elon Musk. Dorsey has joined the Musk Twitter Great Again movement. Dorsey is an insurrectionist. In my view, he's really a traitor with remorse. 3 years ago, during a 3-hour podcast interview with Joe Rogan, Dorsey, one of his top underlings, Vijay Gadde, which we just saw, acknowledged that Twitter's algorithms were designed to amplify the voices and impact of groups Twitter deemed marginalized. So where is this all going? I don't know, but I can tell you one thing. It's been outed, it's been exposed, and they're freaking out about it, people. Okay? This is yeah, if Dorsey really wants to come clean, he needs to call Project Veritas. I just saw that comment. Thank you for posting that. This then goes back to, yeah, I covered that. Let me just see. I covered that. Okay, so I'm going to move off from Twitter. I'm going to give you 2 other big things that you need to know about. Give me a second just to promote my sponsors. I know some of you probably get tired of that, but look, that's how this show works. So I spent the entire morning digging for stuff and last night before I went to bed. So, it does take time. So mypillow.com, they seriously are the best sleep products. I love this. Again, to use this pillow, I love the travel pillow because I like a small pillow. But if you have the full-size pillow, somebody was talking on one of my posts about how they didn't like it. I don't think they're using it right, because what I do, see that? Now, see, my fingers are touching. I hollow it out in the middle. I lay my head. Oh, it is so glorious. You're going to love your MyPillow. Just get yourself one. Your head will rest in there and your neck will be supported, and it will give you a great night's sleep. There's also the pajamas. They have tall sizes. Okay, all that stuff is over there. And the sheets are the best sheets there are. I'm serious. All right. Use promo code Lumberjack, and it will save you up to 66%. I've got the slippers right down here. They keep my feet warm. I'll show you. They've got the soles. So you guys are going to love this stuff. Revere Coffee Company, you're going to love that. Okay. All the sponsor links are down below. So please support that. Oh, Abraham, nice comment. Julie's made the funniest. Julie, she's so great. She lives in Minnesota here. I talk to Julie on the phone every once in a while. Get your anyways, use promo code oh, I bought one for my dog. Someone said that you can get dog beds too. Anyways, I'll get off the sponsor things, but please support them. And my Patriot Supply is another great one. You do not get a discount with that one, but it does support the show, and you can get some great products for survival and for prepping and that type of thing. So I'll just share that link with you quick. So the way that works is typically the show gets a percentage. Okay, just so you guys, complete transparency. That's how it works. YouTube had demonetized a bunch of my lives. Lately, they've been doing a little better. I don't know what's going on. It's weird. Anyways, but whatever. I don't understand what they're doing all the time. So, I bought 2 dog beds for my 7 cats. Okay, for those who don't get that reference, I shared a meme at the beginning. Make sure you go back and check it out. All right. Thank you so much. All right. On to these last 2 stories, which are very big stories, by the way. I need to share the screen again and get you this. Okay. Over in France right now, and I love this, support for far-right candidate Marine Le Pen at an all-time high ahead of French election. I think it's going to be another Brexit vote type scenario. Emmanuel Macron hit out at his main election rival, far-right leader Marine Le Pen. So Le Pen looks like she might be poised to win. She's at 49%, less than 48 hours before the first round vote. Okay. The second largest economy in the Eurozone appeared to be coming down again to the 2 finalists of the 2017 election. A poll on Friday showed the tightest gap ever, with Le Pen seen winning 49% in a likely runoff against the president, her best polling score on record. So that's going on right now over in France. I don't know what far right is in France. I'm not going to pay enough attention to France, but that is big that a more right candidate could win. But this is really big, and I just want to share some of these pictures with you. For those who don't know, this has been going on in China for some time, and as much as Dr. Oz wants to emulate China in our policies, you guys did see that. Please go watch that video. If you have not on my channel, just go check out the latest videos. Get the one on Oz and please share it everywhere. Please share it everywhere. I'm going to ask people for that video. Just please share it everywhere. I'll even go demonetize that. I really don't care. Should I just go demonetize it right now in front of you? Would that help you guys to share it? If it would, I'll do it because I just don't want Oz to win. Okay. But I ask that you go there and share that video because people need to know what this guy is all about. But the Shanghai lockdown, check this out. In Shanghai, a city of 25 million people are presently subjected to a noxious superstition that still has influential adherents around the world, and especially in public health bureaucracies. The belief that a disease as contagious as Omicron variant can be controlled by the temporary state-enforced suspension of normal human life. We are witnessing in Shanghai is the final total failure of lockdowns as a response. The daytime images of Shanghai streets emptied of all human life are a vision of life on Earth after a civilization-destroying cataclysm. The nighttime videos features thousands or tens of thousands of people bellowing out from their apartment windows and balconies, crying in desperation for human contact, announcing their fear of running out of food, or simply crying in futile desperation at their inability to attend to their dependent relatives constitute a horror movie. In some videos, state-controlled drones admonish the people not to sing or let out a cry for freedom that dwells in their hearts. That was the weirdest one. So I'm just going to go down to the pictures here. This is what's going on. Look at the lockdown pictures out of Shanghai. Fumigating, hazmat suits, on and on. Look at this. Okay. They have walls up on all the city streets. I shared a drone video before. The seats are completely emptied, so on. This is going on. And this they would enforce if they could here. I'm telling you, I don't doubt it for a second. This is all part of the New World Order. By the way, for those who don't know, look at this, doing a test, and they can administer certain things through that using a substance called Theragrippers, which I covered on another show. Okay. Look at this. This is nuts. Absolutely nuts. So I just share that with you people. Remember to subscribe to the channel, and it's very sad what's going on over there. Yeah, please subscribe, share the content around if you so see fit to. And thank you for listening to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I love you all. Peace out.